Hello there! Welcome back to another video. So I don't generally build medieval stuff in Minecraft, and I can't really show you too much of what's happening around me at the moment because this is a little sneak peek of what we make later in the video. But the premise is we are making a castle today. So before I go any further, let's jump back to previous me. So over here we have a build that I did a couple weeks back. They got a couple views, so every single time I make a video now I seem to show it at the beginning. Not even on purpose, I'm not even doing this on purpose. I mean, I just keep on showing it because I am really proud of the build and I'm so glad so many people looked at it. But there was a cool premise that I did with the build, and that was the way I laid out. And I want to try that same layout with a castle, which would be more layers and it would be mostly interior rather than exterior. Now, the way I designed that map, and I want to design more maps like it in the future, is it's kind of designed like a video game map. Like, I've heard a lot of Call of Duty, CS:GO. If you look at the whole thing, I'll show you it from above. There is one continuous line where you can follow the whole thing around, but then in between each building there are little shortcuts, meaning you can access every single point from every single area. And I want to try that with a castle map, except I want to change it a bit, and instead of doing an open world, which is kind of what that is, I want to do a semi-open world. So if you've ever played a game like Jedi Fallen Order, that's semi-open world. So you can explore all the areas at once, but you have to take like a destined path that the creator makes. And in this case, I am the creator, so I will make the path. Castle, castle, castle. Starting off, what I've got here is a path, and this would be the path that you follow on the inside of the castle, and I'm going to build the shape of the castle around this path, and hopefully it will make it fun to explore. Now my idea is that this is where the entrance will be. Let me mark this with some cyan wool. You enter at this point here. I mean, obviously these like floors are going to be thicker when I get around to it, but right now we're just creating like the layout of where I'm going to walk. So we walk in at this point, and then we walk through like a main hall, which will be around this big, and there will be a second door around here. Then through this door, there'll be like a small little corridor. We walk up, and then we've got some stairs. And up here, there will be another corridor. And at the end of this corridor, another little like stairway. And this will lead us up onto the castle wall. And around the castle wall, you walk around it like this. I think you get the idea. This will be like a bump in the castle wall, I'm thinking. It could be interesting to add a little shape there. Maybe I could add a spire. I'm not going to think about it too much, but that's going to be something eventually. And then when you walk around the castle wall up to here, then you've got another way down. And I want the castle wall to cut off here. So whether I'll complete the castle wall or I'll have the building have like an interesting shape or something be here to stop you from moving, I don't know quite yet. But I think that works splendidly for the shape of our castle, or where we're going to be moving around it. Now I just need to thicken out these branches so that we can move through and get like get the idea of what this area should look like. And so we can have also idea how thick the paths are going to be, because we need like some room, because right now it's only like one block, and that way I can figure out more like where positioning things are. Because if like this is too thick and this stairway needs to be moved, then just slight adjustments like that we can figure out right now before we get onto the castle build. Okay, that's done. That was actually really cool. I really like the design of this. It's just this I really like these elements and how everything came together. I decided for the stairs, if you can see here, they're going to be a little bit shorter than the pathways, and there are bits I've changed. I know it's a little hard to tell, and even if I was to be shown this afterwards, like the before and after, I wouldn't be able to tell. But there are certain areas where things have been changed, the shape's been changed. Most notably, it's up here, because I wanted to lift this whole segment up, and I thought that looked really nice. Second most notable area is right over here. I have basically repositioned this when originally it was like a bit of a that then instantly down. It's been turned into like a Z shape, so you can walk back and forth. I think that has a nicer feel because everything's distributedly like weighted perfectly. And I think that works really well. But apart from that, I've given this a couple runs around, seeing if I like the feel, seeing if there's anything that needs to be changed. And I think you move your position a lot, and you move your position enough, same with the vision that you're looking at, or the way you're looking at the build, that it doesn't get boring or old. And I think that each individual area will have its own unique perspective and memorability. Because one thing that is difficult when you're designing a map is you can make one area and it can look exactly like another area. And then you're like stuck and you're like, okay, What do I do now? And the thing that works well with this type of design and designing like this is you often get this idea of each individual section having its own shape and design. Now, if we come down to this area down here, which hopefully won't be, I don't know, maybe it will. But if you walk around this area, you do sometimes, honestly, you do sometimes get that feel like some areas feel the same as others. But I remember this street separately to this street here, and each of these streets have their own unique purpose and place in my mind, and that's why I'm able to map it so perfectly. And same, I hope you get the same feeling with this map, where you always know where you are at each individual point because of landmarks and the way the map turns and twists. It never feels like you're at the same place, so you never get lost. Which is, I really like doing that sort of premise. Anyways, I'm going to stop jambling and rambling on now. What I have to do next is I have to make the shell on the outside of what the castle is going to look like. I'm not going to build all the details yet. I'm just going to build like the shapes of it. So like the walls surrounding it, where everything's supposed to go. So I can get a good idea of what this castle is actually going to look like. I've done a serious amount of work on this now, and I'm starting to realize how big of a project this might actually turn out being. Not that I'm afraid though, because the goat never runs away from a cliff. This looks really cool. I really like this entrance area. I've done some, there's like, how do I explain this? There's like a diagonal thing here. So it's not like a regular castle I'm going for, kind of like that was based off Doom over there, sort of semi-Doom, I guess. It kind of ended up looking like something from Doom in my opinion, but then wasn't based off Doom. But I am kind of sort of basing this off some things from the Doom games, like the diagonal walls and things. I remember seeing those. I like their design. So I'm going to try and do something like that. Although this castle is very much my own design, and I'm working around and building it around the path, so it will have a unique design to it that even I'm not sure what it will turn out looking like in the end. So I think this castle wall looks pretty nice so far. There are certain areas, obviously, this area here is going to have to be a different type of detail to this area because, you know, this is where the walkway cuts off. There's no way you can walk along these walls. So really, it should be flat or something like that along this area, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do that just yet, but I do like the design of it. I do like the way it's turning out. I do like the way it looks. And I'm a bit tired of orange and yellow, so I hope I can finish this soon so I can get onto the texturing and detailing, that fun stuff. You know, you guys don't appreciate my cutaways anymore. I'm going to leave my friends to do it. You don't even get to hear my voice anymore. Okay, I'm 77 songs into the Undertale soundtrack, and I am done with the wool part of the base, I think at least. There's a couple more sections that I probably need to do with that I've completely forgotten about, but for the exterior now, it is done. This took longer than I thought it would. Really, it really did. I'm about to go out for the day, so I won't be able to do any more work on it. But I want to show you what I have done. I haven't done any of the interior, if you're wondering. It's still a big hollow mass in here, but that should be pretty easy because that's just corridors. Or at least I say that. I actually don't know how difficult that bit will be. But this castle is coming together very, very sweet. It looks cool, it looks nice. Running across this top area now, it feels like you're actually running through a castle. There's big walls and like structures wherever you go, and everything's got a little bit of weight to it. Every single area feels like you're going through. It's all unique and cleverly made, and just, I really like this. It looks sweet, it looks cool, it looks perfect. It turned out exactly how I wanted it to. Now, obviously, a lot of this is inside, so really you won't be seeing that top section too much, but the build is a build. It isn't like the little area that we did down here where it's just walking through an area where I can just cover up the walls. I want it to be visible from all sides and it to look quite good from all sides too. It feels kind of Lego-y, I guess. That might just be a me thing, and it probably is, let's be honest. But it feels like a Lego castle, like you saw in those like old Lego sets, and I don't mind that. I like those. It's nostalgic, but yeah, wow, very cool, very good start for this. We've got some more stuff that I've got left to do. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention these green areas here. These are going to be like grassy pits with lots of flowers and things in them, just to add a little greenery to them. And I think I could do some vines crawling at the edges and things like that. So I'm feeling like Lush Castle would be a cool vibe for this. Instead of doing like a mingy old worn down one, we do something a bit more bright and colourful. So that'll give me some chance to do some more vibrant stuff, which will be nice. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. But I'll see you in the next clip, which should be tomorrow. So yeah, yarbly do. I'll see you then. // pause 2. So the first thing I need to do is replace my hand with stone. Or this is a cool edit. This is a cool trick if you don't know it. One is stone in World Edit. So you can do that. I found out recently why that is. I haven't selected that area. Give me a minute. By the way, you can redo commands by clicking T and pressing up on the up arrow. This isn't a tutorial video, so I don't know why I'm running you through this, but you learned some stuff now. Welcome to the channel. It's fun, right? Anyways, this is what we have to this is what the base looks like in stone now, which I think it's looking more castle-y already. I think we got a good idea of how ominous this thing's going to feel. Now, I want to replace this for smooth stone. So / replace hand, which will be what I'm holding, and do smooth underscore stone, and that should make that. There we go. Whilst I was not the whole show, because that's like, I don't know how many, like 100 hours, no, 200 hours at least. The gist is I finished the final season. This has taken me a really long time and only halfway done, but I've got some copy and pastable sections now, and there's a lot that I can get it over. It's a lot of tricky things that I just have to like do the narrow bits and the bits that just really is really difficult. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a very specific and like wide ranged texture, and I'm trying to keep it as add as much variant in it as possible, like variability. Yeah, that works. Variability. I'm adding a lot of variability into the texture, which probably isn't actually a word, but I hope it works in this scenario. And there's like little like colors that I've added in, and I'm just trying to make it so each one's slightly different. I added little structures on the outside too, because sometimes I fall under the trap of every area looking kind of similar, and I'm not a big fan of doing that, but it's something I do. So what I've done here is I've tried to make each singular wall a different type of thing. So this one's got this ladder on it, that one's kind of basic, but it's still got some markings. This one's got a pipe at least, and then around the front here, this one's got like a ladder. So everything is looking different at least, and it's coming together pretty nicely. And obviously this one, how you can tell what's different about this one, it's got a big lump on the front of it. Looks very different. But yeah, I'm hoping this is coming together lovely. I hope you think it looks good. I've still got to do these side segments, and this top area, I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like, but I'm going to focus on the walls for now, focus on what I can do rather than what might be a little difficult. This area might be difficult too. But yeah, I just got to finish. Honestly, the reason I'm cutting the time lapse short is because when I'm doing a time lapse, it's a weird way of recording, because what I have to do is I have to make sure that I don't take really any breaks. Usually when I'm building something, if I start to lose my like brain, or I start to not think, if I can't really focus too well, I have to take a step back, and then I go off, I do whatever, I come back, and then I'm refreshed and I can go back to work. And usually I take like 5-minute breaks or whatever. But with a time lapse, if you take like a 5-minute break, you can see it in the recording, and it's like really difficult to cut out and things. So being careful to not take breaks is a very difficult thing. That's why I've stopped doing a time lapse now, and that's probably why you don't see so many time lapses in my videos anymore. Although I do like doing them. I do like doing time lapses when they're useful. Right now, it's just a bit, it's a bit crazy. It's a bit something that I don't really want to do, because it is very hard to keep up that pace. it's probably somebody who's like found a way to make it so it's like only when the player moves does the time lapse continue, or when things are changing. But for me right now, I am gonna stick with my things and just be lazy.
No, I know.
Oh,
I'll go away.
my bad, my bad.
Retired
Yeah.
Lee.
Sorry, I thought we were
Kidding.
all on the same page. My bad.
Okay, so I have finished the bottom section now, and now all I have to do is this top section, which I'm not certain about what I want to do. I want to make it a little bit more greenery, I mean, this other area does have a hint of green in it because I've used pale moss and tuff, which are both very similar blocks, except the pale moss has got a nicer texture, in my personal opinion. You can have your own opinion on that, but I think I'll use them both because they both work in this castle aesthetic. I think that came together very nicely. Now, as you can probably tell on the side here, there are bits where I have forgotten to go like make the textures unique. A bit again down here, if I get some mossy out, I can make this blend in a little more, I reckon. But yeah, I've made a little door down here, which is unique. It's another unique segment, which does work well. But I haven't done much unique texturing on this side, which I will have to get around to because, as I said before, I want this place to feel unique from the inside and the out, whether it's details or textures, which is all very useful things. And I actually was speaking to someone earlier, and this was something I threw together very quickly, but I really like the shape of it, and he thought I was using mods. I mean, Bone Man reference, you know Bone Man, I've mentioned him in a couple of videos, I BC with him every now and then, but yeah, well, I showed him my build, he said this looked like it was made with mods because of the weird shape of it, but no, that's all vanilla. I quite like building shapes like that, they're quite nice, aren't they? They give a cool aesthetic and vibe because it's just really unique. I like doing this. That's the premise. I like doing all this stuff. I like all the unique ways I can build and learn to build. Recently, I did realize something that is a problem with my channel. Well, not my channel, me as a person, really. Well, it's that I have kind of stopped growing as a Minecraft builder. I mean, if I were to ask myself which of these builds has made me improve the most as a builder, it would be that one, because of the way I systematically designed it and how I like using systems now to build. But before that, none of these builds really pushed me any further than I could go. I mean, I've been trying, except for that flame. Okay, maybe I'm lying a little bit. Maybe I have grown, but when I was first starting out building, I felt like every single build I was making, I was finding a brand new way to improve my style and my artistic and just everything, finding out brand new ways to improve with every single build I made. But nowadays when I build a build, it's like maybe I won't really get much from it, except, you know, obviously I make the build, I'll be happy with the final result. Obviously I really like building, it's my number one hobby. But at the same time, despite being very good at this, I don't really improve that much anymore, which I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, and I don't know if I'm patting myself on the back too much here, but I just felt like I needed to mention that because that's something that's been playing on my mind. Well, okay guys, I started at around 12 p.m. this morning, maybe later, 1 p.m, and it is nearing 9 p.m. Never mind that, it is nearing 10 p.m. Anyways, it's taken quite a few hours to get all of this done. The texturing is a little in your face, I'm not going to lie about that, and I don't really want to, but there's also some other things that I'd like to mention too. It's a bit of a weird base, honestly. For starters, it's not centered. Obviously the whole base has got this weird like lopsided shape, so it's more like a C shape than it is an actual, like, you know, big block. But the first thing I like to mention is this top area. It's not centered, and I just ended up roaming with it because I was like, it's all mossy, it looks broken down anyway, let's go into it a bit. But I felt like I needed to mention that. There are areas where the textures just feel very the same. It's like this area back here. I still haven't done anything with that yet. I haven't done anything with that just yet. Maybe I'll do it after the builds or after I've done the interior, because I am done for today. I really don't want to stop just yet. And another thing I do want to mention is that, or I don't want to start another thing just yet. That's what I meant. Another thing I want to mention is this floor is very untextured. It's very just like one block. There's not a lot going on down here. And since it is the main pathway that you're going to be traveling, I might need to do something with that tomorrow. The inside is still completely untextured. Nothing in here yet, but this is what I'll be working on tomorrow. So yeah, no worries. Don't have to worry about that today. I can leave that to tomorrow's me. These top areas, actually, do they need to be done? Maybe. I don't think it matters too much. But yeah, this area looks, it looks good. This top area especially looks very nice. These gardens, I decided I was originally going to go for more flowers, but I ended up just going for the pink petals because I like the way you can sparsely spread them out, especially like an area like that where it's like you get this cool gradient effect as they like filter off into the grass. Then when you're down here, it actually feels like a big wide field of grass. There's not a whole lot going on in here, and maybe we can fit some objects in here if we have time at the end. But really, I'm crunching on time now because this is the second day I've been working on this, and that was a lot of work for like all day. I probably should have split this between yesterday and today, but as I think I said that I went out, so I wasn't really there much yesterday. But yeah, this looks really wonderful. Really happy with it. Really think this is good. Really think this is a really cool build. I think it's the biggest one on the testing world now, apart from that monstrosity, but that was done in Axiom, so it doesn't count. Maybe this counts. I don't know. They both don't count. This is the most detailed project, I think. Is it even bigger than that? I don't even know. That it's slightly bigger than that one. It's bigger than those ones. It's bigger than those. It's those five or whatever they're called. Yeah, but this is a cool build. It's got a cool silhouette too. You've got this cool like, yeah, I hope it's recognizable. This build like kind of makes sense as a build. And actually as I come in and look at it like that, yeah, I'm quite fond of this actually. Okay, day 3, I think. I think it's day 3 now. Well, anyways, what I want to mention is that I am procrastinating so hard on not doing the interior that I've actually started working on the exterior of this build. Yeah, that's right, I'm procrastinating by working on the project that I'm supposed to be working on. It's a bit Inception-y, but I think that kind of counts because it's the exterior rather than the interior. I don't even know where to start on this. I mean, I should probably just start while I'm recording now so I can get out of the way. I guess I should like section off areas where things are going to go so well different rooms are. So this will be one room here, which will stretch like that. And it's mainly just going to be walkways because that's the whole point. This is like one big walkway and then I can do all the details on the walls. A bit like walking through a haunted house, I guess, because you don't really have rooms in those unless I'm thinking of it wrong. But yeah, I'll make like the pathway of how these areas should look like. Well, it will be very similar to paths. But yeah, just building up these walls now is probably a good idea because if I don't do it now, then I'll probably never do it. But then it'd be like areas like this with the stairs, which will be interesting because it'll be like there'll probably be a door here. Look, that probably be like a door here that you will see, and then when you open that door, there'll be a stairway up. So maybe if I bring that black back 2 blocks like that, and then we can have the door here. So that way you walk through here, then you've got the stairs up, and then on the side here, maybe there'll be another door. Does that look good? That? Yeah, does that look good? Yeah, I think that works. It's a little bit confusing. Maybe I'll bring these stairs back a block. I probably will actually, so you can connect better here. So it'd be stairs on top of each of these blocks, a bit like. Let me get some stairs out. Boobity boop. So yeah, it'd probably be more like this rather than having them run down. And I think that still fits in this room area down here. Yeah, it looks a lot better like that. So yeah, that works really well. Yeah, I basically just need to like draw an outline of what these areas should look like now, which is going to be unique. Very unique, very interesting. Okay, I've started to get to work on this. I'm not using night vision right now because this area is completely lit up, which is probably kind of obvious, actually, now I say it. But what I've done here is I've made it so, I mean, not the whole thing isn't done yet. Let me just turn up my gamma a little bit. This is a mod that I have that I found out recently. I can turn up my gamma just by clicking the up and down arrows. It's pretty cool. Allows me to light up certain areas. But yeah, let me bring it back down for this area, back down to 100. There we go. Oh, that's too dark. There we go, 100. This is how bright the room should feel. It's not dark, but it's like this back alley area where like storage is being held. And there's like little doors that you can't actually pass through, but they look nice. I mean, this one's a bit goofy, but I can't really do anything about that now. So shoobly do. Let's leave that where it lies. This area looks very lovely. This actually might be the best interior I've ever made, or it might just be the one that I like most. I sometimes go through phases in building, and I think I might have mentioned this recently in one of my videos, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I kind of go through phases, right? Where I really like one aspect of building, and I used to hate interiors like massively, and that's not even a joke. I used to never do them because I didn't like them at all. But nowadays, I really like these things. I got taught by a guy named, not taught, more like, well, yeah, kind of taught because I knew nothing about doing interiors by a guy named Elanuelo and some other friends of mine. And I learned some interesting tricks from them. And it was like, one of the things I really liked is that having brighter walls or having darker walls can make the room feel smaller or bigger. Lighter makes the room feel bigger, darker makes it feel smaller. And having like a dark roof will make the room feel like it's kind of tight, but having brighter walls will make it feel like it's wider. I think that effect works pretty well here. It's like an optical illusion, and I want to use that more in my builds in the future, and I've tried to use it as much here. I also really like this painting at the end, the new paintings they added into Minecraft. They're so nice. So I love when I sound like really excited. I just look at my skin. I just look so bored. I've got the most bored looking skin in the world, but I don't have any big eyes or anything, so I can't really do anything about it. I did try adding big eyes to my skin, but I look like a dung beetle. So, you're stuck with these ones for now. I'm here to apologize for my prior words. It was me who was not appreciative of you. Also, my friends sucked and I needed to come back. Well, hello there. Do you want to see something cool? So I have done a lot of work on the build. Now, obviously, you've seen this lovely section, so I won't be showing you that now, but I've made the front entrance and I think it feels very grand. The entrance here, I like this area. I tried to make every single room that you go through feel very unique and different. So like every time you enter an area, it's different. And this area's got like more homely feel, a bit messy, a bit like crowded. But then when you go up here again, it's like a well-made corridor. And even though it doesn't make complete sense of why different areas would look completely different, I kind of like the feel of that. You can also see below that I have changed out the pattern down here to be the same as the one in the, like, let's call it the boiler room, because that's sort of what it looks like downstairs. I filled in this little castle area there with a little bit of an interior that looks very lovely. But everything's like came together really nicely in the end, and this is basically the whole project that is completely finished. I do really like the way and the view that you get from walking around this whole area, but it's just such a beautiful castle. I'm so happy because I haven't built a castle on this wall, and I haven't built a castle in a very long time. We've also got this second staircase here, which is it's kind of basic, but it connects these two areas. Then you get back to the original area you've seen, and just by walking through here, back through the boiler room, all the way back into the front, and you can leave or choose to go around again. But yeah, I haven't built a castle in a very long time, and I think this thing turned out pretty nicely. I think I did mention before that it could benefit from having something up here, so maybe I'll add something like that in a bit. But for me right now, it feels very finished. Maybe there are obviously a couple adjustments I can make, but oftentimes I'm the type of person who finishes a project, kind of does what he needs to do, then hops on to the next fun thing. But I do sometimes come back to builds like my big cathedral. If you join the Discord, you can see any alterations I made to that, because I did make some texture and detail changes if you'd watched that video. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Well then, I'm not quite sure where this is going in the video, to be honest, but I'm kind of done with the video, so I'm done. I'm just talking like a normal person now. I decided to add this thing on the top. This might be right before I say bye-bye. Like, I think that'd be really funny if I just, like, right before I say goodbye, I like cut in and say, hey, look, I added another thing to the build. But yeah, I did it in the end. It looks pretty nice. The silhouette's a lot more complicated now. You've got this like triangle shape, although it isn't perfect, to be honest. There are a couple of things I would change if I could, but it's a bit too late now. Anyway, back to me saying bye-bye. And bye-bye!